And we're live, baby. Back at it. Episode number, I believe this is 33. I forget a lot of times, though. But we got my guy, Robert Kennedy, in the building.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you being here, my guy.
Man, it's all love, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah. Appreciate you taking time out of your Labor Day.
Yeah.
Coming here, chopping it up.
I was just relaxing, man. I think it's always a good time to, get in front of the mic and, and chop life.
Hell yeah. So for those listening that may not know who you are, let the people know who you are, what you do, where you've been. Take us through the journey.
Try to make it quick. So my name Robert Kennedy. I go by Kennedy. A lot of people know me as Coach Tall. I kind of transitioned from Coach Tall to Coach Kennedy. Just kind of be more of a profession in my profession, so to say. I think it all starts with going away from the nickname. But everybody know me as Coach Tall or Coach Kennedy. And I'm from Venice, Illinois, small town, probably like 20 minutes from, not even 20 minutes from St. Louis, probably from here, but 4 minutes from St. Louis for real, right across the water, small town. And just kind of just started my journey in my neighborhood, man, small town kid, and just kind of just stayed with the grind. Got a chance to, use my tool of basketball to go play, of course. Went to Mentor area. After that, went to Murray State. Got a chance to go overseas for a couple of years. So, got a chance to really just tap into the tool that God blessed me with. And now I'm just giving back, just giving back as much as I can.
So the JUCO route and then D1 was, when you went JUCO, was it always, I'm going to go D1, or did it just end up that way?
I was really in the present when I went JUCO. Like, I didn't think about Division I. I didn't think about what the next level looks like. I got redshirted my first year, so it was more so of how can I get better and how can I get on the floor for next year. I wasn't thinking about, no extra scholarships or probably not even the educational part too. I was just like a kid straight out of the projects. I'm like, I got to go grind. Like, I got to get stronger. I got to get faster. I got to get smarter. So that's pretty much was my journey early on when it came to the basketball piece. I was just focused on trying to get better.
And at that time, so like focused on getting better, getting stronger, more skilled, whatever it is, were there like skills trainers then, or was that just you working out on your own?
I would say a mixture of both. Okay, my bad.
No, you good.
I'll say a mixture of both when it came to, we played basketball a whole lot when I was coming up. So local coaches, of course, would be like, get us in the gym on the weekends and stuff like that. But it really wasn't like no set. I ain't have like no set trainer. I just knew how to hoop, and I just knew how to use it to the best of my ability. But I think like the great coaches I had early on, like taught me how to play the game and do the right things. But really, we just rolled the ball out every day, playing for 4-5 hours a day with the guys, going to different parks, going to different gyms, and just kind of going to open runs and just hooping, and I think that kind of got us in that space. But then I started playing with the Eagles too in high school. So I think that getting that professional development from those coaches early on was a real key instrument to like what I was doing. So
what year did you graduate high school?
I graduated 2003.
Okay. Just trying to fit the timeline in my head. Yeah, sometimes that can be the best development, is just going and hooping against a bunch of different people, Yeah,
no, it is. I think that you got to have a great balance of both, but you can't go play basketball with everybody. I think there's a misconception of, well, kids just need to go to the park and just play with, like, you just can't go play with everybody. I don't think you can get better by just playing with anybody. I think you get better by playing with those and the likings of in the space that you are in. You want to go play basketball with basketball players. I don't want to go to a park and play against the guys that didn't play in high school, but then you want to prove stuff like out here. Leave you in your space. I want to go to a space where it can be a little bit more controlled. Guys respect the game a little bit more. Guys don't do the petty stuff, undercut you, or try to just overly play you because they feel like they can prove something against you. You know, you want to kind of be in a space where you're in the likeness of like your own kind. You want to be in a space with your peers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I know I've definitely hooped at the park a good amount. And recently it's like, cause I'm, trying to work on my game still or whatever, just so I can demo stuff well. And
right.
It just gives me a new perspective on training. Mm-hmm. And yeah, to your point, I find myself standing in the corner, watching the other guys just go ISO and not go anywhere. And
yeah,
you don't really get better that way.
You can't. So, but if you're in an environment where you have a coach or you have a former trainer or a trainer currently, in the space with you all, that those runs can look a whole lot different. You can play concept basketball. You can kind of know like what it is these athletes are working on and kind of put them in the space to work on those things as well. It's still free play, but you still got to have a little chain on it just a little bit, just so they can kind of, learn like how to do certain things out of certain actions.
Facts. So take me through your time with the Eagles at the time, now Brad Beal. Who are your coaches? Who are your teammates? And how do you feel like that influenced your development?
So I got a chance to play with the Eagles when I was 15, and I think it really did change my life. I'll say that, and they know now to this day. I'm still part of the program. I'm a forever be an Eagle. It's just what it is. But I feel like at the time where I needed the culture of men around me, because I could have easily went left, like quick. It wasn't like I had a choice to go left, but I feel like my friends at the time were very, very influential in their spaces and what they were doing. So here I am. I want to bounce the basketball, but I probably got guys that are, doing activities that they shouldn't be doing at that age. So I got to find a really good balance early on in life. And I think when I started playing for the Eagles, I saw that I can't do one and the other. I can't be like over here trying to do this and then over here trying to do this. Because then I started seeing guys come in and out of the program because they wanted to do both. And then the one that they love is basketball. The other one took them away from it. So, being an observer as a kid, I started seeing it even amongst my own friends. They playing basketball, but they want to sell drugs. They get caught, basketball gone, they in jail, they can't never come back to the game no more. So I just seen it, and I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to be in this space over here. And then I just love being around the other coaches, great male figures, other kids that was in the same space I'm in, but not from the same environment. So I want to know where you live at. I want to know like what's on the other side of this, So when I go back to my neighborhood, I'm like, man, I was in St. Charles, or I went to Minnesota this weekend. I went to Texas. Like I'm getting a chance to tell my neighborhood like stories and like where I'm going. I'm traveling, and I'm doing it for free. So I'm just like, I just fell in love with that part and not want to do this part on this side.
And not everyone can say that. You gave a couple examples of guys who went left instead of just hoops. What do you think allowed you to have that mentality, that fortitude, like that perseverance, whatever you want to label it as? What do you feel like made you able to do that?
I'll tell you this. When you a kid, a lot of people don't understand, like, first off, I was scared. I'm going to tell you that right there. So when I see guys getting arrested and I know them personally, in my mind, I'm scared of that. So I don't ever want to put myself in a situation to where I have to be that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes another person mistake, I'll look at it like, man, I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to go that route. So, but like I said, man, having good male figures around at the time too kind of saved that point too. Just having. And then I looked up to my cousin Erwin Claggett. So, he played at Salou. So
and is coaching there now.
They coaching at Salou High School.
Yeah.
Yep. So looking up to him coming up, just seeing like how he was living at the time. Like everybody loved him everywhere he went. So every time I got a chance to be in a space with him, I'm meeting Corey Taylor's like an uncle. I'm seeing Anthony Bonner. I'm seeing Larry Hughes. Like I'm seeing these guys that are like superstars in our city, and I'm getting a chance to be in the same gym, play on the same floor as an 8th grader, freshman in high school. Like I'm getting all this knowledge, and I'm really just a fly on the wall. They don't even really know. I'm just learning. I'm just looking and learning. So I think that kind of saved me when I was able to just get in those spaces for real.
And what were, because you mentioned being a fly on the wall and learning, what were some of your biggest takeaways by being in the room with them? Was it just like work ethic, or what was it?
I'll say work ethic. I remember a time where I was at Salou, and I was getting a chance to watch Larry train, and then we got a chance to hoop later. I don't even know what year this was, but I can't even tell you what grade I was in, but I know I was with my cousin, and man, I was just like, man, this guy's like working hard. You know, then when you get on the floor with them, like they're working really, really hard. You know, they're playing the game the right way. They're teaching you things as you're hooping. Man, don't post up like that. You should have did this certain type of move. It's like you getting a chance to learn on the fly. You know what I'm saying? So it was just everything was just a learning curve for me for real. And
so Claggett hooped at SLU High School.
No, he played at Venice. He's from Venice, Illinois. He played at St. Louis University.
College.
Yes.
Got you. And now he's coaching at SLU High School.
Now he's coaching at SLU High School, yep.
Cool. Okay, so Mineral area, then we go, well, let's stay on that real quick, because when I was growing up, I had this idea of JUCO basketball being like, my turn, your turn. I'm trying to get my numbers so that I can move out of here. And having conversations with people recently, there might be exceptions to that rule. Like I think there's some good JUCOs that play like team basketball.
Yeah.
But in 2004, 5, what was JUCO basketball like?
It was a mixture of both back then, but I think Mineral area already had a name for themselves. So it was already kind of a powerhouse JUCO that you really wanted to go to. You know, that's where all the coaches were coming. You go to certain tournaments, it's 50, 60 college coaches there. So you're going to get the looks. If you play and you produce, you're going to get a look and you're going to go somewhere. You know, so, but it wasn't like that much of a cutthroat, because at the time it was Coach Gray who was the head coach, and then Corey Tate was the assistant my first year. It was more so real organized. Workouts were organized, practice was organized. You had to go to class. So it wasn't like you were just pussyfooting around. Like you were getting your education. But you did have some guys on the team that were just not taking it serious enough as far as in the classroom. So great talent. And then I ain't gonna say they failed, but they didn't succeed either. You know, so they just kind of made mistakes. You know,
I like that way of phrasing it. They didn't fail, but they didn't succeed either.
Right.
Kind of that middle road.
Yeah. I think that just goes back to having good mentors, or understanding your talent is your tool and use it to the best of your ability and not abuse it by being an asshole kind of player.
Yeah.
You know, you want to try to monopolize off of your hard work, but also have people grace you with that as well. You know, when you get an opportunity to get a scholarship and get an education for free, like you got to take advantage of it. You can't just be one-sided with that.
Do you know Mike Sutherland?
I've heard of the name.
I had him on here a while back. He played for the Eagles, and it was around, I forget what year he said he graduated high school, but it was rough. I think it was around 2003. And he also went to Mineral area. I'm almost positive. But anyway, he, during our conversation, he was talking about a very similar theme of like being more than just a hooper, and like the ball is going to stop bouncing one day. Yeah. It's your character. It's how you treat people. It's the relationships you build. Mm-hmm. So I will second that point. Like it's the teammate you are. It's how you treat your teachers, how you treat your classmates. Cause I think it's easy sometimes to be the hooper and then you have the clout that comes with it. Mm-hmm. And then it's easier to kind of see yourself above other people.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's a real thing. I think to this day, man, I still use my resources and people that I've connected with, former coaches, to get recommendation letters, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? For me to get other jobs and be in other spaces with other people. And I think I've done a great job of just holding those relationships very close. You know, but a lot of people don't do that. You know, a lot of players don't do that. They just kind of play for coaches and they leave. You know, I kind of look at coaches as most of the coaches that I play for, I tell you, I've got a personal relationship with them.
That's fire. So now Murray State.
Yep, Murray State.
Were there, because now if someone were to go to Murray State, they'd be like, oh, John Morant. And there's one other person I'm forgetting.
You got Isaiah Cannon, Cameron Payne. So those were the two before.
I think it was Campaign.
Yeah, Cam. Right after Isaiah, I think. Yeah.
Isaiah Cannon, that's a deep cut. Not a lot of people know that name.
He was the man.
He either is or was killing in the EuroLeague.
Still is.
Still is. Yeah, he's going stupid.
Yeah.
So at that time, you are committed to Murray State. Were there like North Stars like that you looked at that went to Murray State and are doing stuff?
Man, no. I'll tell you how I landed at Murray State. So we played in a tournament, and I forgot the tournament name. I want to say we either played a team. The team name was Highland. I forgot where it was at. I don't want to say Merrimack. Maybe it was there, but I had a really good showing. I don't know, in front of maybe 50, 60 coaches. I had a really good showing the second half. And it kind of happened like overnight. You know, like I said, you talking about putting all this work in throughout the year. You know, I'll never sit up and say I was like this top college basketball player. You know, I was a grit guy. I was a guy that can come in off the bench, you know, still can give you 10 to 15, you know. If it's my night, it's my night. But I'm going to be in the game. I'm taking charges. I'm gritting, I'm grinding, I'm boxing out. I'm doing all the little stuff, you know, setting screens, you know, may knock down an occasional open shot here and there. But anyway, I feel like at this tournament, I had a really good showing. And I didn't process it at first on how serious it got until like maybe like the next day or 2 days after the tournament. All of these schools was calling Mentor area. Who's Rob Kennedy? Like, who's this guy? You know, and I'm getting calls from Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Louisiana. I want to say Louisiana Tech, SEMO. I got a call from SEMO, Wisconsin, Green Bay. Man, I can't even fathom. I want to say maybe Illinois State. Just a lot of schools. Murray State wasn't in the picture. I get hurt my last 10 games, so I tore my meniscus. So at this point, Texas Tech come flying in the picture. You know, I spoke to Bobby Knight on the phone, like literally, hey, coach, him and Pat is on the phone talking to me. I verbally committed to Texas Tech. I was like, I'm coming, coach. I want to come there. You know, and of course, everybody in my ear like, man, I don't know if you want to go play for Bobby Knight, you know, but in my mind, I'm like, this could be an opportunity for me, you know, to really get some good coaching. Obviously, we know the stories about Bobby Knight, but I wasn't looking at it like I was going to go down there and be a head case or, you know, he was going to do something crazy to me. And, you know, it was just like, nah, like I would love to go play for him, you know. So something happened with my scholarship at Mineral to where it didn't work out. You know, like when you're a sophomore, you coming in, I think you sign your little scholarship to come back. So make a long story short, I had to like waive my scholarship to open up my recruitment again. And by the time I did that, Bobby Knight called and was like, hey, man, we're going to go ahead and move on. This is a business. We wish you best of luck. And I probably called him back for like a week straight. And then like he finally picked up and was like, listen, as much as we love you, and much as we want to have you here, like we are not taking any more scholarships, you know. And I really wish you the best on your journey. And I was so down on it. Like, went back home, I was crying. I'm like, man, I really wanted to go there. They just dumped me off to the curb, and that's when it clicked for me. Oh, this is a business. It's a real business. And I think maybe like 11 o'clock that night, Murray State called. Coach Savino called, and he put Cronin on the phone. He was like, man, we would love to come see you. They came like 2 days later. I think the next day they came downtown St. Louis. We went and ate breakfast, and the rest was history. Like, I love Cronin. I love Cronin, man. I love Mick. And that's how I ended up at Murray State.
That's pretty divine timing, a pretty big coincidence that shut the door with Texas Tech, and then that very same day.
Yeah, and I think what happened was when Texas Tech ended up signing the guy that they signed, my recruitment opened back up, and I think it just spread it amongst all of the coaches.
And were you like like Draymond Green can name every player that was drafted before him? Are you that type to, like, I got a hit list, the dude that Texas Tech brought in, like, I'm on his head now?
No, I didn't, man. I wasn't like that too deep into like, oh, I feel like he took my spot. You know, I just felt like once he told me it was business, I just looked at it like that, you know, and I just kind of moved on. You know, I ain't even like harp on it too long. I was kind of sad because I was like, man, that could have been my road to the league or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I got another school on my line. So,
right.
You know, and I was like, and I had McNeese State. That I actually took the visit to McNeese State, and he put Joe Dumars on the phone, his brother on the phone. Kind of sold me a little dream, a little bit like, yeah, man, you come here with my brother, you know, we gonna, you know, get you a tryout to the Pistons. I'm like, oh shit, like what? Calling home, like, man, I think I'm gonna come here. They like, but bro, don't fall for that. So it was just more like me falling in love with the process and knowing like what they gonna tell you, what they not gonna tell you. So it was kind of like, all right, now I don't want to go there. He got upset when I didn't commit there, so it was like all good. So
he's
it wasn't Joe Dumars, it was his brother. I forgot it. It was
okay.
It was his, I want to say, older brother, younger brother.
I was gonna say because Joe Dumars, he's not with the Pistons.
No, not now. I don't know where he at right now.
He's with
back then. I want to say 05-ish when I was doing my visits. I know he was with the Pistons.
Yeah, and he was with them. I could be getting this totally wrong. I think he was with them up until this offseason. And then I think now he's with, I want to say the Pelicans, but I don't know.
Right. Now, I don't know. I don't follow it. So
I just remember people clowning him for some decisions he made this offseason.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Murray State, a sociology degree.
Sociology degree.
So that very well could have just been, I'm an athlete. What's the easiest path to a degree? That's how I got my degree in communication.
Yeah.
But I have been very into sociology recently, how people interact, social intelligence, that type of stuff. What were some of your main takeaways, things that you've learned from those classes that you took?
I've always been a people's person. So, you know, like I said, I come from a place where, you know, you just got to be able to be a chameleon to where you go, you know, and I think that like Murray was an eye opener. It was more diverse. You got a chance to be around a lot of different lifestyles and stuff like that. So for me, I just tried to make light of everything. You know, anybody that crossed my path, whether you from India, I don't know, Pakistan, wherever you from, like I'm gonna greet you with a hello, hey, what's up? Like, I don't know, I'm just that type of person. So I think that sociology kind of gave me that confidence to just be who I am and be a people's person and just learn people, you know, and hopefully people learn me as well in the process too. So
yeah, that's what I'm on right now, is learning people, pretty much that specific thing, like learning people from just different ethnicities, different upbringings, different, and it just helps shape how I view life. my main reason for getting into it is through the lens of being a better trainer. Mm-hmm. Just helps you relate to people. Kind of, like you said, a chameleon, kind of makes your personality more flexible.
Yeah.
Are there certain insights that you've taken from those times that you apply now to coaching or training?
Man, I do. I can't really pinpoint on what that is, but I just know that there's this thing with me where if we meet and it's good energy from the beginning, then I will do whatever I can to help you succeed that. You know what I'm saying? So I always want to be some type of instrument to help you wherever you need to go, whether that's connecting you with somebody else or however that goes. But I think for the most part, man, I'm just an open book. Don't get me wrong, I get my time where I'm like, if I'm in a room full of people, I might just kind of chill for a while until I can feel the lightness of the room kind of wake up. You know, for me, I'll just kind of sit in the room and just kind of relax for a little bit. But for the most part, when I get to talking and I get to seeing like who you are and who I am to you, I think it's just kind of easy for me to just go from there.
Who I am to you. I like that. How do you're talking to someone and then you're trying to figure out who I am to you. How do you, because that's like their perception of you.
Right.
How do you pick up on that?
It just depends on the questions I'm asking. You know, I'm going to ask you like, what's your name? Where you from? I'm going to ask you basic questions. Then I'm going to ask you like, you know, how's family? How your family doing? You know, then I'm going to get into, okay, so what do you do outside of work? Like, what's your profession? You know, stuff like that. And then if I can get them to start answering questions like that, then I might throw a loophole in there and be like, so what you think about this? That's what's going on in the world. You know, it might be something pertaining to like what they have going on, so they can kind of, so now you're looking at me like, oh, he knows something, or he kind of want to know what's going on with me. So now the script flipped now. So I was like, man, where you from or what you do? Who? So now it's like, now I get to show you like who I am to you. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So now I get a chance to explain like who I am, what I do, my views on this. Now we can have real dialect on what this looks like now. Because
you're asking like basic get to know you questions and then throw a curveball in there. And then that like leaves them intrigued with who you are.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So now it's like, now I can work the room now. You know, so if I see you talking to somebody and y'all having a conversation, I'm way more confident to come up and be like, hey, what's up, man? I know we just chopped it up, but what's your name, man? Who is you? So now I can walk away from that conversation and that person can still be like, man, that's a really good dude. Like, I just had a conversation with him. So now if I double back around the room and I see you by yourself, now me and you can have a conversation. Somebody else had already kind of put it in your ear like, oh man, that's a good dude. He got, you know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Because sometimes you can meet somebody, right? And if I meet you and you give me some type of asshole vibes, the human nature is when I go talk to somebody else and we're in the same space, I'm like, man, dude. So now it's like, some people can like kind of tarnish your name without really tarnishing your name or knowing you for real.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to just kind of have that who I am to you type of mentality, you know what I'm saying, when you meet new people, because you just never know.
Yeah. You never know. In like the basketball bigger world, like everyone knows somebody type of thing. Yeah. But then I also like what you're talking about, like within a room, within that social setting, work in the room, kind of making your imprint on the room. So I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Murray State sociology degree, hooped. And then from there, how do you get into coaching?
So I wasn't coaching at first. So I'll say this for the record. Like I was not coaching basketball. So when I got done playing, I went through I went through a life spiral, I'll say. I had 2 friends that got killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. So that kind of took the love out the game for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to, those guys was around me when I was hooping heavy. So, you know, basketball was like the last thing I cared about at that time. So I started working at a child center. And luckily, one of my friends that passed, he knew a young lady that was like a supervisor of the center. So she kind of reached out and was like, hey, if you ever need me, like just reach out, you know, I'll get you a job. And I was like, man, cool, I definitely need you. You know what I'm saying? I want to just kind of get my head clear. So I ended up doing that for a while. And then I got a call from my boy Mario, who we played together in JUCO together. He was like, man, I got a little situation in China. You know, if you want to get on it, go ahead and go. So I left the job, went to China, played for like 6 months, then came back. And after that, I ended up going to, I was in church heavy at the time. Like I said, I was going through some mental stuff, losing my 2 best friends. And I was just like, man, I got into church real heavy, you know, and I feel like, you know, at the time, like church really kind of kept me grounded, kind of kept me level-headed, kind of kept my mind like on different stuff spiritually, because I think I needed it at the time. And just leaning on God for a long time. And then I end up the center director for St. Louis JUCO. He was one of our deacons at our church, and goes back to just having relationships. Started conversation with him. Hey man, where you get your suits from? I remember like yesterday, like, Mr. Reggie, where'd you get your suits from, man? You be looking clean. He instantly, I get them from St. Louis Suit Company. He get to breaking it all down to me. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to St. Louis Suit and get me a suit. So I come to church next Sunday, suit on. He like, as I told you, I'm gonna go get me one. And after that, it was like conversation to just every Sunday, I'm talking to Mr. Reggie, and he just hit me one day like, hey man, you looking for a job? You know, I'd love to hire you at Job Corps. That was it. So I wasn't playing no basketball, wasn't training and doing nothing. So I'm trying to fast forward this story. So I get the Job Corps, and I did really well. They put me on the dorm. I did really well with the dorm, and I just kind of elevated very fast. So 6 months later, they hired me as a counselor. So now I'm a counselor. I was an RA, moved up to a counselor 6 months. So Coach Mosby, who was like over like the physical education part, fitness center, wellness center type of vibe, he coached the Job Corps team. So at this point, he asked me like, man, you want to come help out with the team? I was like, you know what? I'll come spread some knowledge, but I don't coach though. But I don't know what you want me to do. He was like, man, just come talk to the guys. Man, that led from me going to talk to the guys to now playing 1-on-1 with them, playing 2-on-2, 5-on-5, and I'm doing this on my break. So I'm going to work at like 2:30. At 5 o'clock, I'm taking a break. I'm going to the gym. We turn it on the clock. We're in a full-blown hoop session every day. I'm feeling my best at this point. They ain't got my motor back going. So they talking trash, you know, and these like 22-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? So like they're trying to still grind and play basketball too. So, and then Coach Mosby said he had to go out of town one weekend. He was like, man, I need you to coach the game. The other coach can't be here either. I'm like, man, I don't know how to coach. He was like, man, just coach them. And I coached them, and we won by like 50. So, and we was at our center, and we won by like 50. So like the whole center was just turned up. The guys was excited, and then something happened. About 5 months later, Minac was the company that got laid off. They laid off like thousands of employees like throughout the world, under their budget or whatever. And I ended up getting cut because I was the last counselor to get hired, meaning I was the first one to go. And I went to an Eagles tryout. Darvin Whitley was coaching at the time. He like, man, bro, come on up. Like, check out the new talent. I think he was coaching at Sodan after Tat left. So he was like, man, come on over, man. Come check us out. I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to come over. I ain't seen none of my Eagles coaches in a minute. Let me see if I know everybody. If everybody still know who I am, I'm just going to come back and pop in. And it was at Merrimack. And I popped in, got a chance to see Coach Gray, Coach Golden. Tim Holloway was the president at the time, still is currently. Coach Pee Wee, man, just Marvin, like just a plethora of coaches. And I'm like, man, I remember y'all guys when I was younger. Like I'm trying to, they was like, you coaching? I said, nah, I ain't coaching. I'm gonna sit up in the stands. I'm just watching. So I'm just watching the tryouts go and all of that stuff. And man, shoot, after the tryouts, they called me to the circle. They talking like, do you think you want to get into coaching? I'm like, no, like I don't. And then Justin Tatum, he like, what's up, little bro? We talking. Then I'm talking to Tim. And Tat was just like, man, you gonna coach, and you coaching with me. And then Tim was like, you sure? I'm like, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess so. I'm here now, you know. So I just kind of jumped into it, and Tat was my mentor. You know, Tat was my mentor for the first 3 summers, just learning from him, man, just trying to soak up everything. I'm talking about, I'm in the van asking so many questions while we going to these different cities. I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm all in the hotel room like, hold on, man. So when we call a timeout, what you want me to do? Like, you want me to talk to the kids? Or I need to be quiet? Like, he like, man, I got you. Just, you know what I'm saying? So he just kind of coached me along the way, man. And I don't know, I had a great time doing it, you know, and that's my journey on how I got into coaching. And ever since then, I just kind of kept it going. Corey Tate, like I said, I got a chance to coach with him with the Eagles, with Jahadi White and stuff like that. So learning from those guys like early on. Corey Frazier was one guy that took me under his wing. And I just started learning from the guys that were really, really great in the space. And I was like, you know what? I want to follow the footsteps. So he tagged me with Londale Thomas, and I ended up getting my first JV job. And once I got the JV job, man, the rest was history.
It follows the theme of when you were playing and you're in the same room, in the same gym as Larry Hughes and Tate and Claggett and all these guys. And then they kind of like, you see what the North Star is, kind of.
Yeah.
And then that's the same thing that's happening now with your introduction to coaching is, I mean, those guys you named off are legends.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're getting the chance to pick their brain. And like you said, ask them a shit ton of questions.
Yeah.
Why were you so hesitant to get into coaching?
Just not what I wanted to do at that time. I think at that time, man, I really was just enjoying helping kids. That's how I'm working at a child center Marygrove. So I'm just working, and you know, I'm working with behavior kids. You know, kids that are in need of just having an adult male figure in their life, a positive one at that. You know, so you know, and I'm in my 20s. You know, I'm in my mid 20s. And these kids are like 17, 18, you know, still in the state, you know, 13, 14-year-old runaways, you know, bad victims of, you know, sexual assault with family members or getting beat by their parents, you know, these kids running away. Like, so I'm like, man, how can I help these kids have an outlet? You know, and that was my whole thing back then. You know, I could pull up on the center. I got an 84 Coupe de Ville. I'm bumping loud music. I'm letting them know, like I am one of y'all, but I'm just grown. You feel me? But I am the one that y'all can confide in too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am the one that I ain't gonna abuse your trust. You feel me? So I think like all the kids on the center felt that. Like, they love when Mr. Rob pull up. You know, I pull up in the Z28, tops off. They like, man, I got the snapback hats on with the camo shorts. They like, man, dude, you like you killing it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was a motivation to them kids at that time, you know, and I was the same motivation with the kids at Job Corp as well. Young guy coming in, suit and tie. They like, dog, how you, these kids 18, 19, 20 years old, 21 years old. I'm running the dorm with pretty much guys in their 20s, you know, and able to motivate them. You know,
that relates to something we were talking about before we hopped on, of like in a workplace or just in a group of people, different ways of leadership. And there's like the hierarchical type of thing.
Yeah.
Because of my title, this is what you're going to do. You have to listen to me. And then there's the, I forget the name of it, but basically that you're pulling up in the 84 coupe, bumping the music. I'm just one of you. I'm just older.
Yeah.
Someone I can, that becomes easier for me to confide in you because I see myself in you, or it's just like I'm talking to one of my homies or whatever it is. That is what I have found to be the best way to get the truth out of people.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. My saying is be more of an influence than authority. I think like not only, I'll say the youth, they respect that a whole lot more. Like, it's one thing to be an authority figure, but like sometimes that don't move people. But if you can be somewhat of an influence people in a great way, like they're more subject to listen to you.
So more so like the getting them self-motivated.
Yeah.
To make the change or do whatever.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story. So I'll go back to JUCO, then we can get into whatever. So I had the worst dorm on center. So the worst dorm. They do GI clean. You got to clean floor, scrub, stuff off the floor, etc. And you got to get like 350 scores. They come in, the head RAs, they come in, the president, they come in, they look at the room, they make sure no spots on the floor, the wall, closets clean. All of this stuff matters because you're raising young men, to be like on their own, and I set these guys down and I changed positions. The guys that were in position, they couldn't talk to certain kids on the dorm because they wouldn't even listen to them. So when I identified that real quick, I had a dorm meeting. I shut my dorm down for 3 days, and I said, we're going to meet for 3 days. So once y'all get from trade, don't even look to get a white card to go outside and do nothing. We're going to come here and talk like men. And I did that for 3 days. We had a meeting for 3 days. And then at the last meeting, I fired the other guys that was working the security role, the custodian role, president, vice president, your security, your arms and stuff like that. Like they had these little names where they put the kids in position in the dorm. So when GI clean come around, you got your president, vice president come down with the check sheet. You got your security person that's knocking on the doors, getting all of them out. You got your custodial guy getting all the supplies to give to the other kids to do the cleaning. I took the kids that I felt like they looked at them as those peer pressure type of guys, like the bad influences, so to say. And I changed it. I turned it around for the better. So I had all of these guys that everybody looked up to on the center, I put them in a position. I gave them something to feel positive about. I gave them a reason to use their peer power for good. And when that happened, it wasn't even 2 weeks. Our dorm was 350. We getting pizza parties. They didn't even want to leave the dorm because every Friday we having pizza. They are enjoying this. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of knew how to do certain things at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to just like the kids and stuff like that. So I just had like a gift that I feel like a lot of people don't get that's working in those spaces. They don't really know. They trying to be too much of an authority figure, and kids don't respect that half the time.
Or they will for a little bit and then get tired of it.
Yeah, and it just depends too. Like when you growing up, I feel like your parents are your authority figures, so you gotta kind of have that respect for them. And I think if you lose it at some point, whether it's for a family member or not, you start getting influenced by certain stuff. And that's why I say like influence is a real thing, but I think some people, when they don't see themselves as an authority figure, they just try to slide their way into like influencing the kids in a certain way. So it's a fine line. You got to really find You got to find a great balance when you say it, because some people like, well, so you just a pushover and you're not and it's like, nah, I just know that they're not going to disrespect me more than they're going to disrespect you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked in a school. I did ISS. So they'll curse the teacher out and the principal. They'll go haywire on everybody. And then when they come to ISS, it's what's up, Mr. Kennedy? What's up, coach? Now I'm having a conversation on why did you do that? Why you disrespect that man or that woman? So now I'm gonna need you to go make that right, because the universe don't like that. They're like, man, I ain't going to go apologize. Man, you got to though. So now I get teachers emailing me, how did you get them to? Man, it's just certain ways you gotta deal with people. I just got it. I don't know where it come from. I just got it.
It's that sociology degree.
I guess that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm putting it to use, man, because I'm giving back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it back out in the universe, to be honest.
Yeah. No, that's real, because that was a pivotal point in your journey with the Eagles, was finding those male role models.
Yeah.
So now to give that back, it's fire. And so, yeah, because to you, or for you, you feel like that is something that you take with you now that you're coaching as well, and how you relate to your players?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely take it to me as coaching. Like I say, man, I like to come. I might come and practice playing certain music. You know, when the kids working, I didn't say kids, but when those young men working out in the weight room, I'm playing certain music. They turn around like, Coach, what you know about? I'm like, don't worry about how I know about that. I'm tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to create certain playlists. I know what they're looking for. I know what they're listening to. You know, and I think that that's one of the barriers that kind of break the wall down. Like, oh man, coach cool. But then at the same time, we know in between these lines, coach gonna take care of the business too. He ain't just playing around too.
So, I love that we're talking about this. So there is that side of it. The coach is cool. I forget how you referred to it earlier. So there's like, the coach is cool. He's playing cool music. Like, let's just chop it up, like man to man. Like, why'd you disrespect the teacher like that? But I'm more so thinking about in the coaching setting.
Okay.
So there's that side of it. The coach is cool. Let's just talk like humans or whatever. So this would be more so on the side of the spectrum of like a friend-ish.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, there's this other side where it's in between the lines. I need to hold you accountable. If you're not doing well enough, like, I have to be able to tell you that. How do you navigate that? I'll just leave that open-ended. How do you navigate that?
A few ways. I think it starts with, first off, starts off with the conversation. You know, I try to have individual talks with all the players during workouts, after workouts, when I see them in the lunchroom, like, especially early on in coaching, you know, I try to have them individual talks. And then we had those, you know, expectations, you know, that conversation too. And just kind of let them know, like, there's going to be days when I'm going to be on you. Like, I'm going to be extremely hard on you. How do you handle that as a person? And they like, what you mean? I'm like, well, before I even show you who I am on the basketball piece, like I'm telling you, I'm going to be hard on you. Like, how do you receive that? You know, and I think some of them be like, well, I receive it well, but then you got to start knowing your players as well too. Like, I can't yell at this player. I can yell at this player. You know, it's just certain ways you got to be able to do it, and you got to be able to identify it very, very quick. Or you just going to be the coach that yells at everybody.
So coaching people differently.
You have to.
Based on their personality.
Yeah. I mean, people got friends that they are friends with differently.
Yeah.
So you can't even coach everybody the same.
Yeah.
You know, you got some friends. Some people got male best friends. Some people got girl best friends. So you ain't gonna deal with them the same way.
Damn, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, like if you got a wife, you ain't gonna deal with her how you deal with your girl best friend, or you know what I mean? Like it's just certain ways you just deal with people differently. You know what I'm saying? You can be a group full of 5 or 6 guys, like everybody's gonna treat everybody a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some friends you talk a little more shit to.
Yeah, and there's a friend that you know if you joan on him too hard, he gonna start taking it personal.
Yes. Yeah. There was who was talking about, he was talking about Paul George and how you had to kind of sugarcoat what you were saying to him. I forget who it was, but like, I mean, you see that teammate to teammate also.
Yeah.
Those like alphas or whatever, the Draymonds, the Kobe's, the whoever.
Yeah. I just dealt with this the other day. A few of our guys were, you know, we watch them play pickup from up top. And, you know, just like, you can hear them say like, oh man, that's weak. That was weak. Then I see them in the lunchroom like, hey, you can't be talking to your teammates like that. They're like, what you mean? I'm like, there's a way you can convey your same message, but you got to have some positivity with it too. Just can't call a man weak and then you don't say nothing else to him. Like, how you going to be a leader and you can't lead? If you saying something weak, I explain to him, bro, you could have hit the backboard on the layup. You could have tried to dunk it next time. Don't worry about the miss though. Just keep playing hard. You still called him weak in a sense, but you just gave him a little bit of confidence to maybe do it a little stronger next time, have a little bit more focus.
Because then that guy knows that he's with them. It's more of a teammate feel.
Yeah, for sure. Because now when the next time you make a mistake, he might just look at you and not say nothing. Because he's looking at you for a response. You know, but if your response can be constructive with a little bit of that shit weak still, like he's still receptive to it, he's still able to receive it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like I said, that one friend when people start joning or something going on where like that one friend kind of just stay out of it. They won't even indulge in it. Cause they don't want the kickback.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's like if you got friends that got money and you know that one friend that don't have it like that, y'all start talking about, bro, y'all want to split the check or who want to, you might have that one friend pull out the phone like, and they just might be over there doing like, don't come this way, you know?
Uh-huh.
So it's just a little different, man. You just got to be able to approach it any different way for real.
I like that a lot. One of my favorite, sarcastically, one of my least favorite, like, because we're talking about like teammate to teammate communication or feedback. Mm-hmm. One of my least favorites are the times where, I'm trying to think of an example, like you drop a pass and teammate gets on you, man, catch the ball or something like that. It's like, okay, oh, damn, my fault. I intended to drop it.
Yeah.
But now that you tell me that, okay, I'm going to make sure to catch it next time. Those type of things where it's like, it's not even like helpful. It's just them outwardly expressing,
yeah,
I'm pissed off at you for dropping the pass.
And then I tell guys too, like, y'all know y'all going to drop the ball sometime. Like, you're not catching every ball. So you can't be mad at somebody else for dropping the pass when at some point 80 passes later, like, you're going to drop a pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just depends on the scenario of why you're getting on him for dropping the pass. If you're in a 3-man weave or something and you throw the ball too high and I don't catch it, like, you mad I didn't jump 8 feet off the ground to catch the ball? Like, it's just some shit just not realistic.
Facts. So what years were you coaching with Brad Beal or Eagles?
I want to say, man, it's a great question. I want to say anywhere from 2015-ish, 2016-ish, somewhere around there. I wish I could pull out my phone and pull it up. I can pull out some years for you. But I'll say around that time.
That's when you stopped?
No, I started.
You started?
Yeah, I started coaching.
Okay. In 15, 16?
Yeah, I would say 15, 16.
Okay. Okay. So that was I graduated high school in 2019. So that was similar timeline.
So my first, I can't even name all them guys on the team, but yeah, it's like Zeke Moore and, man.
Riverview Gardens.
Yeah. It was man, it was a lot of those guys. I can't remember them guys. I can't remember them. That's crazy. They're going to be mad at me, but hey, that's when you know you've been in the game for a while.
Yeah, it's a vet in the game. So you talked about so that one game or that one half at Mineral Area, and then it felt like overnight things just flipped. So where my mind initially went when you said that was Jericho Helms.
That's my guy.
At Peach Jam.
I was there.
You were there?
I was on the bench.
On the bench. Okay.
I was there that whole summer.
That's why I asked you what years you coached.
I was there. That team, I can tell you everybody on that team. Jericho, Francis Zakor, Darius Garland, EJ Liddell, Kel Ketchens, Fred Thatch. You had Carrington Davis.
Damn.
Yeah, man. You had Jadis White. Man, we had some
dudes.
We had some guys, man, that played extremely hard. That it just had that feel of like, man, how can I explain it? Because the aura of that team was crazy. Like, I think for like 4 sessions, we were beating everybody like 22.4 points. Like, it was like that. Like, defensively, like we were trapping, pressing, like playing hard. It was crazy. That was a crazy time. But that summer, yes, Jericho Helms for sure put himself in a place where he was the hottest thing cooking.
Hottest thing.
Every session, it was Jericho. And then somebody got hurt. I think we lost a big, but EJ Liddell ended up moving up from 16s to 17s. First session, didn't do too good. Did okay. After that, it was the writing was on the wall that EJ was who he is. It was just what it was. And it was a really good time.
Dude, I remember, so you said the whole summer Jericho was killing. I remember Peach Jam specifically from my perspective, like every 2 hours I'm on Twitter or his Instagram or whatever, and it's blessed to receive, blessed to receive, blessed to receive. Crazy.
It was crazy. Like, man, that was a crazy time.
When you're on the bench and he's killing and he's like, it's the third or fourth game of Peach Jam, whatever it is, and like y'all kind of know like he's killing. He's killing. His trajectory is through the roof right now. It's going up and up. What's the aura, the vibe, the mood with him in the locker room, in the huddles, stuff like that?
I'll say for him, very excited to, finally turn that corner to get that notoriety. I think like the family, mom and dad was excited, because now they're seeing, the hard work that he's been putting in, the hard work they've been putting in, traveling and putting all this money behind your kid, now they're having success and you getting the offers now. So now it's just all about, how can we capitalize off this moment and get in the best situation that we can get into. And I think at that point, that's when, you start having deeper talks with other coaches, other pros, where you should go, whether you think it just should land. A lot of those times I'm not in those rooms because I just felt like that's more of a family thing. It's more, intimate, you know, it's more like, man, you know, we really need to figure out like what we gonna do. You know, so I'll just be more so supporting the kids, just making sure they still be a kid, you know, whether that's me taking the van, taking the boys to go get food, taking them to the mall. I think in Vegas, Overtime Elite was following Darius at the time. So he wanted to bring all of the kids to the Strip. So, like, you know, I'm the coach that's like, yo, I got the keys. Everybody come with me. I got everybody on down. I'm holding everybody down. So, you know, it's just like it's still allowing them to be a kid outside of the space of basketball. So that's pretty much was my role. You know, I ain't really want to get into the political talks on where I think you should go and
right
what I feel. Like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Facts. Moses Moody played for Brad Beal for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Got a chance to coach Mo too for a
nice.
little bit. Yeah.
What was he like?
Real chill. Mo be chilling. So when I used to pick him up, or maybe airport, we'll go to like My Pizza or something, get a pizza before we go to the workout or something like that. But like real chill kid, man. Real good family. Just good guy overall, man. Hard worker, for sure.
Were you coaching 15, 16?
I coached.
No, never mind.
I coached 16s with Tat for a few summers, and then we ended up getting James Wiseman and all of that, like from Nashville. And
really?
Yeah. So something happened to where they ended up going to another team at some point, but I don't know. It just we had them for about a summer. And then we had them for like a tournament, and then they went back and played for, man, was it Team Penny he went to go play for?
Yeah.
I think he went to go play. Yeah.
I did not know that. James Wiseman played with Brad Beal.
Yeah. I got an old picture. We won, they were 16s, we won a 17U tournament. It was James... I gotta look at that picture. It was so many kids. It was a few. France was on that team. Like it was some kids on that team for sure.
Interesting. Okay, so all your years coaching with Eagles / Brad Beal, lots of high level talent. Mm-hmm. Guys who went high major D1, went pro.
Yep.
Guys that had the potential to and didn't. What would you say what do you think separates those people? The guys that had the potential to go pro and didn't, and those that ended up going?
Oh, this is a good one. I'm gonna try not to drop no names. I don't want to throw the internet in a frizzy. But
top 3 players you least enjoyed coaching. No, I'm just playing.
Shit, I damn near answered it. I'll say this: you had some guys. You talked about the Moses Moody. We talked about the EJ Liddells, you know, like coming from like the Jerichos, you know, coming from like really good family backgrounds. Of course, Jason, obviously, like coming from like really good family backgrounds, having that support, you know. But then we had some guys that were part of the program. I won't say they didn't have support. I don't think they had good mentorship. And they were very, very talented. And they went very, very high, Division I, but it all crashed because I think they missed something along that way.
In terms of what?
It could be mentorship. It could be that maybe the lights were too bright for them. You know, and I think that when the lights are too bright and it's brighter than you or it's brighter than your family, and you're receiving all of this light, who can dim your light? Mm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the hottest thing here. Like, your family ain't really knowing. They just trying to get in the light with you. But not saying, hold on, man, let's cover this room up, bro. It's too much light in here. Like, we gotta talk. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Jason is who he is and where he at is because he had a ton of light on him. But I think his family and his well-being like knew, okay, you got all this light, but we're gonna pull you in this room and we're going to put these curtains up for a second, and we're going to dim it a little bit, and let's talk about like what this looks like when we go back outside now. You see what I'm saying? Like having that downtime where the light, like right now we're in a room, it's light outside, it's dim though, but when we go out, we back exposed again. So, you know, having that good balance, and I think a lot of players didn't have that good balance. Some came through the Eagles and they ain't have that good balance. Light was too bright. They never went inside a room and dimmed it to try to figure out like how to control it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so like that metaphor of going in the room, the dim room, knowing how to control the light. So I get what you're saying when it's nothing but light and you kind of become larger than life and you have no one can tell you anything. What's the metaphor for being in that dim room? Is it like I don't know, just like those humbling conversations.
Yeah, let's keep the work first.
Okay.
Keep the work first. Keep close family. Keep your family close to you. You know what I'm saying? And just know that everybody don't have your best interest.
That's a big one.
Like everybody don't have your best interest. So if we in a room together, you got to look inside the room. Whoever in this room got my best interest. You see what I'm saying? That could have been 5 people, could have been 10 people, could have been 2 people. But whoever not in this room don't have your best interest. Majority of the time. I ain't gonna say all the time, but majority of the time.
So for you, one of the main separators between people who have the potential, who quote unquote make it, who don't, is the mentorship, the circle they keep, the voices that they have in their ears.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Even for me, like I wasn't a big time player, but at the same time, like I took my mentors like very serious. I listened. You know what I'm saying? I listened, and I think that it got me to this point in life where, you know, I can still, you know, lean on certain mentors too as well. I can still get on the phone with them. I can still see how the family doing. You know, it's just what it is.
And I feel like nowadays it's probably that's even more important with NIL, social media. Every player is their own brand.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, because I feel like the 2015, 16-ish era was like when social media and stuff was on the come up.
Yeah, for sure.
But now it's full blown, like guys in high school are making quality money.
Yeah. It's a crazy time to be in. Because now you got a chance to change your family lifestyle, you know, but at the same time, you're trying to change your lifestyle as well. So it could be somewhat of some pressure to do that at 17, 18, 19, if you don't understand the space that you're in fully. You know, I think a lot of these kids don't really understand the space that they're in. So it's hard for them to conduct themselves or, you know, like just knowing certain stuff, you know. But I think that if your mom or dad or uncle or your trainer or somebody that's in that space can kind of delegate a lot of this stuff for you that you can lean on and trust in, I think that those players need to do that. They need to lean on those type of folks instead of trying to like do it by themselves.
When you say don't realize the space that they're in, what do you mean?
Like, so when you're a basketball player, you know, you gotta be in that space. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be hooping and then, like I was saying early on, like being a basketball player but then want to go hang around certain people. Like you gotta really realize the space that you're in and be in the space. You can't be trying to double dip, be here one day or 2 weeks and then I want to go hang out with so and so and them and knowing that they ain't got their best interest in them. Something go wrong, you going down just as fast as they are. So you want to try to be in the space. Stay in your space.
So NIL money, social media, mentorship.
Yeah.
And all the other factors that go into it. As far as athletes, hoopers choosing a college to play at,
yeah,
what would you say are the main or handful of important factors to consider?
Level of play first. Like know where you want it, not where you feel like you need to be. You know, because at the end of the day, college has levels: Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA. Like everything has JUCO. Like everybody have levels. But then you might be a player where you feel like if you see all your peers in your class getting Division I scholarships, you're going to look down on the first NAIA school to reach out to you. You're not going to even entertain them. You're going to try to at least get to a D2 interest. You know, D3 maybe, but then it's like, but if you're not getting the Division I's, who is in your corner, who is in your circle, who is in your space to start to tell you this Division I dream is just not going to happen? Well, I won't say it's not going to happen. Let's not say that. I don't want to like knock nobody's dreams, but I think that if you find a home and you can work your butt off, then maybe you can eventually go Division I. But I think for the most part, you really need to go where you want it, you know. But also you got to start looking at education too. You know, like I was telling you early on, the way I look at college basketball now, regardless of the NILs and all of that stuff, like I think certain athletes, certain families need to really look at, if we don't get a full ride, what does this look like for me, my kid, my family? Do we have to support them a little bit? You know, do we got to come out of pocket a little bit? Because most NAIAs don't have full scholarships, but they have great educational systems in place, you know, especially like the smaller universities. You know, like I said, I'll use my university as for example, like very small knit, intimate space, heavy in the medical field, pharmacy field, with a plethora of other degrees too as well. But now you're talking about coming to a place where you can be the ultimate athlete that you can be because the facilities are great. Now, and you can be a great person off the court and a great student in the classroom as well. And now you have a network of people who's making $200,000, $500,000 a year working in these fields. You know, like I said, when I went to Murray, I'm a sociology major, but I wasn't hanging around sociology people. So I'm not getting no network. I'm hanging around some guys that's maybe doing teaching, accounting, business administration. Like, we ain't really having no conversations about what this looks like when this ball stop bouncing. You know, I feel like at where I'm at UHSP, it's you in a room with pharmaceutical people. You in a room with data science people. Like, you in a room with biomed, neuroscience. Like, you in the same space. Your roommate might be the same degree as you. So y'all can have those conversations on what this field consists of, you know what I'm saying? Where we gonna go? What can we do with this when this ball stop bouncing, or when you stop throwing the baseball? Like, whatever sport they playing, you know, they get a chance to really sit back and identify. So I think for me, man, families can focus on the education part. And most of these kids, they go Division I, they go high up, they know where they want to go. If you're going to Yale, Stanford, like, you know why you there. You ain't there to play basketball for too long. You know, you there to get a great education, get it paid for, and go be CEO at Sony somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think that just like families need to really understand that, especially like impoverished areas, or if you got a kid that's really decent middle class family, you know, they might not get that full ride, but, you know, there are opportunities out there that require you to may have to pay out of pocket a little bit, but you're going to get a great education as well.
Yeah, I like the dots I connected there, where sometimes the money you pay out of pocket or whatever can be an investment, or like you end up making it back.
Yeah.
5-10 years down the road, whatever it is. So like UHSP, I forget the number you said, but like it's generally, you're going to make some good money once you graduate.
Make 6 figures for sure.
Yeah. So then it's like, okay, I could pay, like I'm paying out of pocket $30K to go here. Not ideal, but I can make it up once I graduate, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, which speaks to that long-term vision that you're also speaking on, because the ball is going to stop bouncing at some point. Drew Hanlon was on some interview talking about Belmont and how like his mindset was picking a school that's not just going to help him for the next 4 years, but the next 40 years.
Yeah.
So that goes to what you were saying, like the networking, the relationships you build.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a percentage, but like, do you think a lot of hoopers are thinking in those terms?
Nope. Nope. Because like I said, I'm going on my starting my second year. And if I call the family, if I reach out to a kid, hey man, love your tape, I'm going to get you on the phone. I want to talk to you and your family at the same time. Like, that's my first conversation. I don't want to talk to you personally first. I want to get everybody on the phone so we can establish this relationship from the jump. And then that next call, me and you will be one-on-one. But if I call a kid and get their family on the phone, and if he or mom or dad or somebody say, so is this a full ride? Like, the answer is no, but then if they're like kind of standoffish because of that, that'll probably end that conversation. But I do like to explain to them, like you said, the return on your investment, this what this looks like. This what we can offer them. We offer partials. So it's like, we can offer them this, but you might be looking at this, but I leave that up to admissions, and I leave that to, the people in the building to talk about the numbers. But I like to at least lead them there with some type of insight of like, we know what this looks like, but at the same time, shoot, man, I try to have a real honest conversation with recruits, about their education, because I feel like I didn't get it as much as I thought I did until I got this job. So I just feel like my due diligence is to give back knowledge on what we're looking at and what they're looking at.
You didn't feel like you understood as much as you do now about just the whole recruitment process, or what?
Well, as far as like the education part, like I said, to be honest, I don't even think I had no real control over what I wanted to study when I got to college. And it's not to blame the coaches, not to blame the university. You got to blame, I'm putting partial blame on myself as well. But I feel like as a young man at the time, it probably would have been a little bit better if a coach or somebody would have been like, hey, look, don't do this. Look at this. You could probably make 80 to 100 over here, then make 55 on the low end, maybe 60, doing this, but you don't have no room to grow in this either.
Yeah.
If you come over here and do this, you can go 20 different ways, but don't stay in this, because this only going to limit you to 3 different ways. And I don't think I had that conversation early on about the educational part. And it's not to blame anyone or blame my family or blame coach. It's just, I think it's a mixture of everything. When you coming up and all you thinking about is basketball, sometimes that can be, I think back then it was kind of played up on a little bit. When you had some talent, some coaches just, let's get them. Hey, just do this, take these classes. Nowadays it's a whole lot different. I don't think you can bamboozle a lot of players coming up, because of, like you said, social media. They already know what they want. They already damn near driving Lamborghinis and getting all these NIL deals. So, you can't just tell them anything. They kind of know what they want to do, so.
That makes sense. Yeah. It's interesting just because I was the same way. Like, I was a communication major. It's kind of just the quickest path to the piece of paper.
Yeah.
it's just hard at that age, 17, 18, 19, 20, to like be able to see the big picture. Because at least for me, a ton of other people, like up until that point, 19, 20, my whole life was hoops. So it's hard to get out of that mind state. And even if you are able to think long term, at that age, I still didn't know. A lot of other people still don't really know like what they want to do.
Yep.
Were you, I guess you kind of said your coaches sort of pointed you in the direction of sociology, but were you like, okay, this is my calling?
Well, it was like, since I already went to JUCO, I already had credits. Okay. So, you know, it was more so coming in. I was a JUCO guy. This the trajectory he lands at as far as graduating on time. So let's put him here.
Got you.
Wasn't more like, let me see my credits. Let me see if I want to do this. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go this way. You know, oh, well, that's going to lead you to be here longer. You ain't going to better stay here that long. You ain't going to have the credit. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like them transfers, they kind of got to put you in a box a little bit if you ain't started off from when you first went to school type of deal. So that's how I look at it too.
True.
You know, it's almost like when kids in high school taking AP classes now, you already know, like, you could probably get a dual diploma, go to a JUCO and kind of graduate both. Like, and then you can go play for a year somewhere. You know, it just kind of just hit or miss when it comes to just knowing, like, what the education look like. You know, but like I said, I'm talking to kids that's 4.0s, 3.9s. Like, I'm not talking to no high school kids that's under 3.3. You know, you got to have at least 3.3 and above for me to start the conversation at the high school level.
As a college coach, so you just mentioned to even have the conversation, it's grades. Mm-hmm. Once or if an athlete reaches that point, what are the things you're looking for in a player to bring on to the team?
If they fit our environment, if I don't even think about the team so much, you know, when I'm talking to these kids, because I can already see the game. I can see if you can run, jump, shoot, pass. Like, I can see all of that, you know, and then we put you in our system. But are you a good fit for this university? That's like one of the big things, because that's going to determine whether or not you're going to stay full term.
Like their personality? Yeah,
personality, how you are in the classroom, how you are off. Are you sociable? Do you like to hang with different groups? You know, like, what does the lifestyle look like for you besides basketball when we're not in the gym? You know, how are you cursing on campus? Like, what are you doing outside of this? You know, are you playing the game, or do you like to hang? You know what I mean? Like, what does this look like? So I feel like at our school I like to focus on the kids that have a great fit for the environment of the school, you know, first. And then we'll talk about the basketball piece on what this looks like for you.
And is that you just having conversations with them and trying to put pieces together?
Yeah, it's having conversations from the jump. Like I said, if you're a gamer, good. You know what I'm saying? If you're a shoe head, you know, if you like to, you know, explore the city, food, ventures, like whatever that looks like I just need to know who you are as a person, and just know that, you know, you can't just come here and be a BS student because your environment don't allow you to do that. That's what I love about the school. Like, it's not an environment where the students are just playing around and BSing their time. They're not skipping class. They're not going late to class. They're not coming late to practice. They're just not doing that type of stuff because you said it. They're investing into their future. You know, some of these families coming out of pocket, 10, 20,000, you know, for the year to help their kid go to school, but you think their kid gonna be there BSing? I was on a full scholarship, and then some days I ain't go to class. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you want to try to make sure that this kid is a great fit for the university besides the basketball piece. So that's when I recruit, that's what I look for first.
Yeah, that's what I've gathered from a handful of other conversations is like basketball, you can watch, can you run, jump, shoot? Like,
yeah,
you can put that together. You can put that together, but then also, like you said, like put them in your system. We'll figure it out. Like, not we'll figure it out, but once we get them with our coaching staff, and like that's kind of the easy part.
Yeah, because once I see in the film, I can say, okay, this would be a good fit for our system.
Yeah,
that's something me and the coach talks about. What I'm talking about with the kid is be like, man, what you doing today? Like, you got a girlfriend? Like, what does life look like for you? You know what I'm saying? So we kind of get into that type of stuff first, before we start talking about basketball. Because I don't want them to feel like this ain't personal. I don't want them to look at me like, oh, he just calling me to talk about business.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I think the way you win a kid or win a family over is, I've won plenty of families over. They say, man, coach, we appreciate you for calling to just talk about the educational part. I was just telling my son that he needs to think about, but you like hit it right on it. Like, so I'm locked. So now they locked in with me. Because now they know what this looks like. They know that they're not coming to an environment where it's just all about the basketball piece. They come into an environment where, you're going to get a good education. Like, you're going to go there and you're going to do what you're supposed to do. And then we're going to support you on the back end, so don't worry about it. But then now when we get you on the court, here go our expectations now. Because you're already a great student. How can I make you a better athlete? And how can you be great at both? Because it's very possible to be good at both.
Yeah, absolutely.
And wherever it takes you, it takes you. You got some kids go NAIA to end up at a D2 next year, or they end up Division I. So it's a role where you can kind of create yourself.
There's a guy, I forget his name. He hooped at Columbia last year.
Yeah, Colin Parker.
Is that Austin P?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
Good. I like that he went there because he didn't go too high, he didn't go too low. He went to a place where I don't think there's a big in their league like him.
How tall is he?
He about 6'8", 6'9", maybe 6'10".
Damn.
Yeah, he ain't no small guy.
I did not realize he was that tall.
Yeah, he's very skilled.
Very
skilled. But I like that he went there, because I feel like you don't hear about a lot of bigs in the OVC. OVC, right? Yeah, they said Austin P still in the OVC.
No.
No, MVC? No, they're in a different league.
Yeah.
Wherever that league is at, I don't think they got a lot of bigs that can kind of skill what he do. I think seeing him guard is probably going to be something different because he didn't really have to guard in our league.
Yeah.
He just kind of played coverage, ice coverage a lot. He just play you at the rim, which you're supposed to do. That's how you coach him. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't know how to look at the next level being a little faster.
Yeah. Can he switch on those pick and rolls?
He didn't
guard him in space. This year, is he able to do that this year?
Well, he didn't do a lot of switching and guarding. He had just switching ice coverage.
Mm-hmm.
You really had to come to him.
Got you.
He'll come to you late on contest. But if you come to him, he's just going to play you straight up. Hand straight up, contested in the air. Very smart. Should have got Defensive Player of the Year. But I think that he didn't have enough possessions to where he was guarding somebody.
Yeah. What would you say so you've coached women with the Surge?
Yeah, I did.
And another place or maybe two.
Well, I coached at Lutheran North girls. And then I did Rittner girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say the biggest difference or differences are between coaching women, men, boys, girls?
Obviously the athleticism. I think you have some athletic girls, but you may have 3 or 4, 2 or 3 on your team. If you had a really good school, then you got multiple. I think girls, the difference is you can coach on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of girls, like they're really good at playing basketball on the floor. Guys want to be kind of high flyers and kind of want to fly everywhere. You know,
footwork, pivots, stuff like that.
Yeah. So like with girls is, man, like if you got a girl that got some really good footwork, whenever they get into the paint, man, they can kind of do whatever they want to do. You know, so I kind of like try to tell guys the same way, like learn some good footwork moves first too, before you just think you can just go run and jump and dunk over everybody. So,
yeah, that it's a major key for like just preparing for the next level. Like there's guys in high school who can out athlete people. Yeah. But then once you take that step to college or NAIA to D1, you know, it's just a different ball game. You're going to have to pivot, be methodical, be a little more strategic.
Have to. Because if not, all they're going to do is stick you in the, it's just going to be a transition guy. You know what I mean? So they're just going to box you in if you can't learn the game on the floor. So that's my theory on just making the adjustment as a coach. You know, just kind of learning how to coach the game on the floor and not have these high flying plays and a lot of this different action stuff. You know, just trying to keep it to a minimum, you know, to where they can kind of learn the concept of it.
That makes sense. All right, so let's go. We'll do a couple, I wouldn't even call them rapid fire, but we'll go through a couple of top 5 stuff. So let me get your top 5. I wouldn't say favorite. Give me your top 5 like best players that you've coached.
Top 5 players I done coached.
This might be a little clickbaity, but it's fun to talk about it.
In no particular order. So I'm just going to give you 5. Jason Tatum, for sure. Darius Garland. DG for sure. Top 5. Damn, that's a good question. I'm gonna throw some girls in there too. So I'm thinking about all of the girls that I coached. Man, Rebecca Harris. A lot of people don't know.
With the Surge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rebecca's good, man.
My dad used to have season tickets. So we would go, y'all would play at, I don't know if you were coaching then.
No, I wasn't coaching when they was playing at UMSL.
And then we went to a game at Wash U one time.
Yeah.
Okay, but you weren't there?
No, I was there at Wash U.
Okay.
Tony.
Yeah, I remember Rebecca Harris though.
Yeah. Man, it's a lot, man. Brittany Carter is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, BC. I love BC. My 5th one, great players that I've coached. My top 5. Man. Damn, that's a really good question. Because I don't have like a top 5, but these are my 5 that I just rock with for sure. I'll say, man, you got me on a rope. I'll say EJ Liddell.
We played him my junior year. Well, we're the same class, so our junior year.
Yeah.
I'd be like the O'Fallon shootout or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Yeah.
Different. Just big body.
Yeah.
Can move well. He had a steal, pick 6, windmill, looked effortless.
Yeah.
And then he's 6'8", so he's got like, he can get into that mid-range, pull up, shoot over you.
Yeah.
And then he went to Ohio State and played a lot, made a big impact his freshman year, which I feel like, I mean, not everyone does that.
Right. Yeah.
So he's different for sure.
Yeah.
Darius Garland, another guy we played, gave us 40.
As he should. That's DG. That's what he do.
Quick, twitchy.
Yeah.
Just different. There's something else. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now let's go top 5 hoopers from St. Louis.
Top 5 from St. Louis. The name everybody would say is going to be Jason, but I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm kind of go like back a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe some guys people don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Erwin Claggett. I'm going to say Darius Miles. I'm going to say Larry Hughes. I'm going to say throw Jahadi White in there.
Yeah.
And for that last one, I got a chance to see. I'll say Jimmy McKinney.
This is why I wanted to ask you this, is because you have a different perspective. Like I've had some younger guys on here.
Yeah.
And they'll say the people we think about. But you got some deep cuts in there.
Yeah.
Darius Miles from St. Louis?
From East St. Louis.
Okay, that's right.
But our time in, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all the same area for real.
Yeah.
He done damage on this side too, you know.
Facts.
So.
Now, who was the 5th person you said?
Jimmy.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. His son's killing it now.
He is. Yeah, a lot of work. He put in that work. Okay.
And then last one. So you mentioned rap music earlier.
Yeah.
Let me get your top 5. You want to go rappers or just artists?
We'll say artists.
Okay.
I gotta throw the Clips in there.
Haha.
Larry June.
Yeah.
Gotta throw some June in the tune. Currency. I'm a heavy Currency fan for sure. Just like the whole him and it. I just like the whole vibe. Rappers. Of course, Jay. I listen to Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And who else? I got one more. What am I listening to now? I'm trying to think of my playlist. Man, I would say Gunna. Say Gunna. I listen to like some ESTG stuff like that. Just some stuff that kind of get me in that mode. Yeah, but if I'm playing something like I'll play something laid back, something chill.
Yeah.
Not too rowdy. I ain't really like no young boy listener or no ride wave. Like, I don't know. Just I ain't got time to be listening to nobody be sad.
Yeah, I don't like the depressed boy.
Yeah, I'm cool on
music.
That. Yeah, I'm good on that. I ain't depressed, so I'm not listening. And then if I am depressed, I don't want to be even more depressed by listening to it. That's not motivation, kids. Close your ears. Open up your ears a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Larry June.
Yeah.
I don't listen to Gunna. I used to listen to Gunna a lot. But I do like that world of kind of chill. I've noticed I care a lot about the beats. If something's too like the 808s and kind of too violent sounding, I don't mess with it a ton.
Yeah.
Unless I really like the lyrics. But Gunna, his beats are pretty chill. I really like Larry June though.
Yeah.
That chill vibe.
Sure. Yeah. That was like I used to ride my bike listening to Larry June, like all that type of stuff, man.
All right. So how we end this is, so 2 things. One is any last message that you want to leave the people with. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. Maybe it's some words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a theme we've touched on a lot that you kind of just want to bring full circle and summarize. Mm-hmm. Really, the floor is yours, whatever you want to speak on. And then number 2, where people can find you.
Okay.
You're plugging away. The Lou Runs is coming up, I believe.
Yeah, the Lou Runs coming up.
Yeah, so plug that, plug your Instagram, UHP, anything you want. So any last words, any last message, and then plug away.
My message is just keep the work first. Keep God first. Keep your family close. Cherish your loved ones. I think it's very important to be in the moment, and just use your tool to help better your success. And just keep your eyes focused on the goal, on the end goal. For me, you can follow me on Facebook, Robert Kennedy. Follow me on Instagram _I am Kennedy, Snapchat _I am Kennedy, TikTok _I am Kennedy. It's pretty much the same across the board. Tap into the Lou Runs on Instagram, of course. The Lou Runs, THE Lou Runs. Find us on Instagram. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm not really like just follow me on social media. You'll probably see the lifestyle. You'll see what's going on. But if you got any questions, you need any mentorship, you need any guidance on when it comes to, how this thing should look for you as far as, what your journey should look like tap in, ask questions. I'm always willing to help. So, if you're a kid listening, you're a parent listening, and you got a player, you feel like they need some more guidance, tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? We can make something shake.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you taking the time coming on here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is episode number 33.
33, that's my jersey number too. So
is it really?
A great episode.
3 is my lucky number.
Yeah.
So this was divine timing. That is episode 33 in the books. Peace.
Peace out.